Hello, everyone, and welcome to the new 2019-2020 season. Thanks for listening today. I know we normally do our annual meeting in person. However, we're going to have a very good turnout just the way timing went and with the ref golf being canceled. So I thought this would be a good way to kind of save everybody's time, save the trip to the rink, and we will keep today under 10 minutes as we shouldn't have any interruptions during today. So at least now everybody will also have a copy of the presentation, so there will be no confusion or miscommunication moving forward. First off, I'd like to welcome back our supervisor Ryan Sasel, who did an outstanding job last season. So welcome to Ryan for his second season with East Gwillimbury Minor Hockey as a supervisor. I'd also like to welcome our four new officials coming to town: Tyler Young, Lucas Holden, Caden Driscoll, and William Sweezy, who are all longtime East Gwillimbury hockey players. I'd also like to welcome Ryan Dupuis, who's lived in Mount Albert for a few years. He's a level 4 hockey official who has decided to stop making the commute to the GTHL and will be joining us. Moving on, and thanks to their past service, Trevor Wallace, who put in a solid 3 years with us. Lucas Sine is off to college this year, so thanks to Lucas for his 3 or 4 years. And then Larry Hall, who put in over 20 years with East Gwillimbury, will be moving on as well. So thanks to those guys. So the message from the league, it really hasn't changed. There's going to be very few single games. You'll expect that two-banger on a Monday night. Generally no hockey on Tuesdays or Fridays. Very few on Thursdays. And of course, Saturday and Sunday are heavy days. So if you're looking for shifts, it'll be the Saturday afternoon, generally between 2 and 8 o'clock. And then Sundays pretty much all day long, right up until 9 p.m. Of course, that will depend if we have a Midget A team. There will be no minor Midget A team this year, but the Midget A team is still up in the air. They're hoping to put a team back together this season. We will not have MD hockey in East Gwillimbury this season, so that's something that will change as well. Once again, we will have Meet the Ref Day in Hockey for Hunger. Rick Cooper always does a great job of putting it together for us. That'll be at some point in November. Further details to follow. But again, I just always like to thank Rick and the value that he brings to the association and all the money all the food that is raised for Hockey for Hunger. So assignments and covering games, nothing's a surprise here. It's just always good to put it in writing so everyone's on the same page. You must accept your assignments on the site so that I know what you intend, that you do intend to skate the games. Lots of guys do want your games, and quite often I get asked for more shifts. Unaccepted assignments after 5 days will be reassigned. We always say with the fine, but I try and stay away from that. Originally it was to contribute towards our year-end barbecue, but the fine thing is we've moved on from that. All game assignments accepted by you belong to you, so please find your own replacement. With some employment changes coming up for myself, I'm going to be busier than ever this year, so I do appreciate any of your support and help with that. If your partner's late, you got to call them 25 minutes before game time. For any times where your partner cannot be reached, call me next, and then otherwise you got to start going down the list. Twice last year, we had somebody call me about 2 or 3 minutes before game time saying their partner was not there. At that point, it's almost too late. Thankfully, we were able to save the game both times, but this could be totally alleviated if you're calling 25 minutes before game time and your partner's in Kingston. Well, at least now okay, they are not coming. One official system, of course, is not permitted. Please do your best to find someone who can come to the rink if you cannot reach myself. And you can use the ref contact list, which is posted on your portal and on Telegram as well. So there's no reason not to be utilizing that. Mentor roles. So again, the rep officiating mentor, I'd like to welcome back Ryan Dolmage. The House League officiating mentor, James Reinsma, who you will see from time to time at the rink using our headset system on top of supervisions that are formal from Ryan Sasel. A few changes this year at the AGM that are important. Timeouts, 1 30-second timeout per team will be permitted in all OMHA play down games only. That was defeated. So essentially, all OMHA rep games will have a 30-second timeout. That is not the case in local league hockey until the playoffs. Age of officials, this again shouldn't be any surprise. You must be at least 2 years older than the level of hockey that you're officiating. Once you turn 18, you're able to officiate all levels of hockey. So again, for our younger officials, this is the biggest one, which of course this looks like a cluster on here. Essentially, what has happened is we've removed the difference or differentials between level 2R and a level 2 certified. This was voted in. So essentially, a level 2 is a 2. So before we needed 2 level 2s, one being a registered, one is certified, in pretty much all levels of hockey. A 2 is considered a 2. You'll also notice here, we now officially, I know in East Gwillimbury we've done things a little bit differently in the past. We're officially allowing level 1s to do 2-man hockey as a referee and to line it. So there will be no issues around that. So the one thing, though, that is the big concern is, of course, suddenly we're having minor Pee-wee AA or minor Pee-wee A games officiated by 2 brand new officials who are level 2 registered. So what we created an internal rules for games, which will be emailed out and also posted on Telegram. What this means is if you go outside of our outside of the, I guess, rules that we've created, you must go to a supervisor or myself in order to get acceptance. Just because a 2 becomes a 2 doesn't mean that all of a sudden we can have 2Rs lining midget A games. It's not that simple. Those are only supposed to be under direct dire needs, I guess you could say. So again, I will be emailing out and posting on Telegram what the internal rules for games are. And this is the chart that you are to go by, please. Again, making sure this doesn't become the Wild West is why we were able to get it voted in and supported by the EGMHA, but just as easily they could pull this back next year if associations begin to abuse this. Some changes. Novice hockey in 2019-20. The season consists of 5 sections. The modified ice, so half ice, in all house league this year. It will be half ice until mid-January. Rep hockey, believe it or not, is also going to be moving in this direction as well. I know this will generally be left to our younger officials to officiate, but it is good to know no icings, no offsides. A penalty, the player goes off the ice, but we remain 4-on-4. From these. I always like to say, we have over 350 years of experience. Learn from our senior officials, ask questions, be a sponge. At all levels of hockey that I've ever skated, they've always asked us to say, these 3 questions. What did you do well today? What could you have done better? And not just what could you have done better, but how could you have done that better? And I know that's a supervision topic that Ryan is big on, right up to the higher levels of hockey. These same type of post-game debriefs will make you better and allow you to do better levels of hockey with less issue and make you a more competent official in the long run. This one's always interesting as well. The ref breakdown year over year. I'm not going to read the chart to you here, but it's just to kind of show the evolution of East Gwillimbury. When I first started assigning about 8.5, 9 years ago, we had a very small association. As hockey kind of grew, I guess you could say rebounded and began to grow again, we increased our staff. And we've now, the key here is we no longer use out-of-town officials for the most part. And we're trying to use officials only that live in East Gwillimbury or play hockey in East Gwillimbury. Some notes about the electronic game sheets. They are here to stay. We can lock them in the room. They can also be unlocked. We must be very careful on them, what we write and the coding that we use. A lot of issues last year with people just seeing check from behind, clicking it, but maybe they clicked the match penalty instead of the minor or the major code. So you really got to double check, especially because everything's so instantaneous now. The game ends, you put in the wrong code, quickly lock it, and off the ice you go. By the time you get off the ice, there may be a large email thread, which happened multiple times last year. So please be very careful with the codes. Local league specific, any combination of 4 minor penalties equals a game ejection. Run time in the last 5 minutes of the third period is a 5-goal differential for minor and major midget hockey only, and that is only in local league. The most falls, Darcy Downey goes Anderson. He won that award last year. The most dedicated official was James Reinsma. Our most promising official was awarded to Nolan Barkey, who that was him on the left-hand side, banding his first rep hockey game. Luke Lawler won our official of the year, so congratulations to Luke. And the most games officiated, James Reinsma was out of the water again. So I'd like to thank you. I kept it to just over 10 minutes here. I'd like to thank you for today. Have a great season. And the links will also be resent out for Telegram. Covering games must be used through Telegram or direct emails. We don't use a mass email thread anymore. Telegram has been having a lot of success with Newmarket. So I strongly encourage you to get active and download Telegram. If you do need the direct links, I'm more than happy to send them to you. We also have a rules discussion thread, which is a combination of Newmarket, East Gwillimbury, and growing thread that, this came up in my game today. What would your call be? Or I need clarification on this. And we're able to actually tap into live the brains of over 100 officials now in the EGMHA. So I think these are the type of technological advances that are going to allow us to continue to grow and make us better as officials and make everything better for the EGMHA as a whole. Thanks again. Have a great season. If you have any questions, please do